Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. This is a wrap-up analysis of the whole Michael Jackson saga that's going on now. I think it will soon disappear and vanish because it holds no water, as I've mentioned before. I did tell you though that I would come back with the video for the After Neverland special that Oprah Winfrey put on and endorsed. I did watch that today, so I want to cover that. I want to start off by saying that going back to the Me Too movement, I have much respect for the Me Too movement and the Me Too era. I will say, however, that innocent people have been mixed in with this movement. I want to admonish everyone to always search for the truth, always find the facts. When someone makes accusations or allegations or claims, it has to be backed up by facts. In America, as in other places, people are innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty. When someone goes through a trial and they're acquitted, they cannot be tried for the same thing unless there's new allegations or facts that surface that have evidence to back what the claims are. Therefore, they can bring new charges. And that's what they've done with R. Kelly. R. Kelly cannot be charged for whatever he was acquitted for previously, even though supposedly there was a video, and the only reason why he was not convicted was because the victim did not want to testify against him. These allegations that are coming up now against R. Kelly are fresh allegations, and there's 10 new counts of fresh allegations that have evidence to back what it is they're trying to allege. They have to have evidence. The only reason R. Kelly has to go back to court is because they have to have evidence to back what it is that they're saying. I want to say that I hope that there's not a new precedent being set, or that people can accuse whoever they want of anything without any facts, without any evidence, and we as the public are expected to take their word for it, as they say, take their word for it, and believe what it is that they have to say without any evidence. I think that's very dangerous. If that's the new precedent that people are trying to set, is that believe the victims, or the alleged victims, no matter what. That's very dangerous. Because any of us can be accused of anything, and any of us or any person can accuse anyone of anything. And that's the whole reason behind the facts, as the MJinnocent.com website states. Again, MJinnocent.com. People lie, but facts don't. And that's true. The facts, you can't refute the facts. You can't deny the facts. Documentation, physical evidence, video evidence, recorded evidence. You can't deny that. So, this Leaving Neverland documentary doesn't have any of that. The Wade Robson and James Safechuck don't have any of this. Oprah Winfrey doesn't have any of this. And there's more based on their actions that point to them being the liars that they are. It is. And I've taken the liberty to upload Jermaine Jackson's statement defending Michael Jackson, and I want to state that it is a very objective portrayal of the truth. This is not just, oh, I'm defending Michael because, he's my brother and I love him because, he's my brother and I feel this. He actually laid out facts as if any of us would be talking that is not his brother or not, close to him. This is what he laid out, and a few of the things that he laid out, which I've already repeated, but I want everyone just to think again. Wade several times, I don't know on how many occasions, probably at least, I would say probably at least 5+ occasions, it may even be 10, that he denied all of these allegations that he's now making. He's been in court twice. Some people only think it's one trial, but he's been in court twice. I believe it was 1993 and 2005 trials that he went on the stand and had to endure cross-examination from the prosecutor, because that's what happens. Usually the defense will call, the prosecutors have witnesses and the defense have witnesses. So if the defense has a witness, usually they will question their witness, and then there will be cross-examination for that witness. And that's why some people don't want to testify, or some people can't testify, and why sometimes the accused plaintiff, or accused defendant rather, won't testify. So he went through 2 trials of denying these claims. Every time in public denied these claims. I think he was even on I don't know if it was a Late Show or John Leno, but several shows denying these claims. He was still pursuing opportunities to become a part of MJ Productions. He was trying to get book deals. He was trying to, he requested from the family that he get tickets to Michael Jackson's memorial, him and his whole family. This is someone that he's accusing of some of the most horrific allegations next to murdering someone. I'm a bit I was speechless for a moment, but and then he's been on a quest to flip this whole situation since 2013. I think he probably thought of it before then, but when he wasn't successful with other things, then he goes on this quest in 2013 where supposedly finally tells his therapist about these alleged allegations that he lied to previous, or omitted to tell his therapist before about, but all of a sudden he tells his therapist, and then comes out and tells the media, and wants book deals, and wants over, I think it's 1.6 billion from the estate. And so this has been a continuum, especially for Wade. This has been a continuum, and James Safechuck was just drawn in. He was just pulled into this. That's it. I want to go back to the court and the law and all that. Wade was asked in Oprah special why he went down the trail of suing the lawsuit, suing Michael Jackson estate. And she asked this because people have questioned his credibility, and they should, because he is a liar, and he has proven to go after money. And she was asking, well, why was that the way that you chose to go about it? And I'm going to tell you one thing. He's a calculated liar, because he seems to have answers for everything without even thinking. Before she could even get out his full question, he already knew what to come back to. And that's what you call a good liar, because that's how good liars are. They're so quick and so reactive to make you think that what they're saying could be believable, or that it's not false, it's not lying. People, you have to look at things, because a lot of people are into body language and all of these cues and things that have been taught to us over years. People thinking that if someone looks away, they're not honest. Some people believe if people wear sunglasses or prescription glasses that they're not honest, or if they look down or they take too long to answer. But to be honest, none of that is always true in these cases. The best liars are the ones that are the most reactive, the quickest to answer, always has an answer for things, doesn't have to think, doesn't have to question, doesn't have to look up to the sky or look down or try to remember anything, because they're calculated. They've been so used to lying for so long that it just rolls off of their tongue. And that's Wade Robson. That is exactly who Wade Robson is. He was trying to overtalk and do all the talking, way more than James Safechuck. It was just natural for him. He's a natural liar. But anyway, going back to the court, He says he sued because he wanted a platform for the estate to listen to him, and everyone to listen to him, and he felt that if he sued him for 1.5 billion or whatever, that this would make people listen, and that he felt like if he just went on shows and went to the media, that it would fade, and people wouldn't believe him, which is what he started to do, actually, was to go on shows and all that. But anyway, that doesn't hold water, and that doesn't make much sense, but he always had something to come back with. And then he said that he wanted to relive and go through testifying on the stand in court again. So how many victims do you know that go through traumatic situations and want to relive it again? And that's what he said, is that he wanted to go to be in the courtroom and testify again and bring up all this again to expose, to reveal the truth. This is what he says. After he had testified twice before and gone through all of these supposed, experiences and allegations, and it was hard, and he says it was hard for him to come out, and it was hard for him to grapple with all this, yet he wants to go in court again and relive all of it, he says, in this After Neverland special. Interesting. He's lied to everyone. He's lied to the court. He's lied to his parents. He's lied to his therapist. He's lied to everyone. And he says he had no concept that these allegations of what he felt was abuse, and he didn't know that 11, which some people say, okay, that's understandable, but he didn't know at 22, he didn't know in his 30s, he didn't know until it became convenient for him to make money. That's when he knew that, or realized that this was abuse. And then Oprah has people in her audience to try to substantiate this, that, oh, well, some people don't say anything after 30 years or 20 years, or that. And some of that is true, that, some people do wait, but this is not the truth in his case. He has had intentions to make money this whole time along. And I want to say, they have, when it comes to the, going back to the court case, so he wanted to relive this and testify and all this. I've had the privilege to sit on a jury and, serve. And it was a great experience. It was arduous and strenuous and everything you can think of, because you first all start off, kind of buddy and all that, and when people start to express their opinions and people don't agree, it can get really tense. And I'm talking about, where there's factions and groups of people, and people splitting off for lunch, because you do get breaks, and people splitting off for this and that and the other. I think the whole process was almost 2 weeks, but I because you have the time where you first have to be selected, jury selection and all those sorts of things. So, I think it may have been 12 or 13 days in total, but actually probably 9 or 10 days of actually sitting, deliberation, going through the trial and deliberations and all that, which wasn't not even as long as the jewelers for Michael Jackson's case, which was much longer. They had months. I can't think now how long, but they had quite a bit of time to sit through the trial, to go over the evidence, and it required, I want to mention, it required a unanimous verdict, just like when I said on the jury, certain crimes require unanimous verdicts, and then also it depends on the state which you are in America. But most of the states, they require unanimous decisions. You have some places like Florida and other places where it can be 7-5, and someone can be, sentenced to murder or sentenced to death for, from a 7-5 verdict, and they've tried to appeal that in the Florida Supreme Court and other places, because that's utterly ridiculous to think that to think that 5 out of 12 people could say not guilty and someone still is convicted and then, you know, gets the death penalty. It's crazy. So obvious. Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel, or what I should say, welcome back to my channel. The video cut off. I'm experiencing this issue with you know, not having enough space, so I have to, you know, delete things in order to gain more space. So this will either be a part 2 or a merging of the video, just depends on how it works out. But a continuation from what I was saying before is basically there's a jury process, there's a jury selection, you know, there's a unanimous verdict that was required in this case, and in most states that's the process. They went through that process. Michael Jackson was acquitted on all counts. There was FBI investigations conducted. Michael Jackson, there was nothing found from that. And all of these years, there's been no claims. There's been nothing to reopen any investigations. So I did want to note that, and as I said, as experiencing and going through, actually sitting on the jury, I can relate and expound on that process, because I've actually experienced it myself. So I did want to note that. But it was just interesting, Wade Robson's portrayal, that he had no concept even at 22, in his 30s, and you know, lying to his therapist. He continued to associate with Michael Jackson, when a profile for Michael Jackson, and you know, this is a time where he still couldn't figure out and didn't understand, you know, if it was abuse, or you know, what he thought what was happening. And that's all that they've seen to do, Wade and his family, and even Safecheck's family, is to profit off of Michael Jackson's generosity. Michael was generous to them just as he is to everyone. Nothing makes them special. They've tried to create this documentary to make it as though they were special. Michael had a lot of people around him. Michael had several children, several adults, several families. They weren't the only people. It's not as though this documentary and stuttering over my words, but it tries to portray it as though Michael Jackson was trying to hunt them down and chase after them. He doesn't have to chase after them. He's Michael Jackson. People come to him. People want him. People are falling and fainting all over his conferences and every, you know, or I said conferences, concerts. You know, he is the top in the world. Nobody can be compared to him. Nobody can ever be him. Nobody can come close to him ever. You know, that's who he is. So he doesn't have to run after people for attention, and this is the way they try to make it, and it's unbelievable. But they sought to profit, and this started years before he even died. Let me give you, you know, the continuum of what's happened. You know, his mother left 2 of her children behind, a son and a daughter and a husband, to move to Los Angeles for Wade to be a star on Michael Jackson's dime, or at least that's what she hoped. It didn't all turn out that way. You know, he was able to use Michael Jackson's name in some way, but they expected to come over, be given visas, be given money, be given houses, be given all this, and for him to become a star. And she was willing to leave behind her whole family and her whole whatever life that she supposedly had in order to do this. Michael Jackson, through MJ Productions, gave opportunities to different individuals, including Wade, and to be able to, and his mother, to be able to come over on visas. And when they came over, they expected, although like they were going to get special attention from Michael or something, you know, magical was going to happen. And they got a reality check when they come and move into an apartment, you know, just ordinary apartment, and have to work their way up, you know. Um, and they actually were the ones that stalked and chased after Michael. When they came to LA, they were expecting to see him and have full access to him and all of this. And that wasn't the case. That's not what happened. And so they would go to Neverland on several occasions. I don't know if there's a log or what there is, but on several occasions they admitted going to Neverland. They were trying to find Michael. They were trying to get in contact with Michael. They were the ones trying to chase and pursue him, not the other way around. There's no reason he has to try to chase and pursue these people. Like I said, there's nothing special about these people today, and there was nothing special about those people then. And I'm not trying to demean everyone. Every human has value. But when you talk about someone like Michael Jackson and them trying to portray it as he was trying to prey on them, it doesn't add up. And then what's crazy about Wade is he... how do you say, oh, my. He's just a liar. He's just a liar. He says, you know, this is, you know, he's enamored by Michael. He wants to dance like Michael. Obviously, before he even met Michael and got the chance to dance on the stage with him and all these things, he was a fan. Wade was. James Safechuck says he wasn't so much of a fan, but Wade definitely says he was a fan. Competed in dance competitions in Australia and different places with the little hat on, which that has to be promoted and pushed by your parents, by the way. I just wanted to note that. Posters, everything. He was a Michael Jackson, you know, fanatic. And at a young age, and so, and all this time he spent around Michael, and supposedly all these allegations of abuse and them committing sexual acts together and all this. And then he says that, or alleges that Michael Jackson was crying when his family visited Neverland. He didn't want them to leave, and this was after all the supposed sexual acts that he said started the second night after Michael Jackson only knew him for a day. And says that he believed that Michael Jackson would turn into a werewolf. So you're around this person and you like this person and you think the world of them and you're interacting with them and supposedly doing sexual things with them, but then all of a sudden now, for a documentary or television, you want everyone to believe that you legitimately thought that he would turn into a werewolf and attack you. Even though he didn't use the word attack, that's the portrayal that he's trying for us to believe, you know, trying to convey to us that, oh, he was scared and thought he would, you know, turn into a werewolf. It's just, it's unbelievable. Let me see, I want to finish. Both of them stated and said that Michael Jackson trained them and groomed them and told them that they would get in trouble if anything happened, and instill and for them instill fear or all these things. And one thing I want to say is, a lot of the people close to Michael, people that know Michael Jackson's character, know that that's not the way he was. That the way people try to say when they said he said that he gets what he wants and all this. That's never the way Michael talked. That's never the way Michael was with anyone. He was harmless, peaceful soul. And yes, he could stand up and advocate for civil rights as he did. He could say what he needs to say on his mind or whatever, but Michael Jackson, he was able to say what he said and mean what he said without being aggressive, without attacking people. And that's just not the way that he was, the way that he's depicted in here. Nothing supports these character claims or claims about his character, you know, any bad character. Um, so, and there's no way for us to verify these claims. There's all these things that they're saying that Michael said to them, like the unbelievable claim that James Safechuck says that Michael Jackson said he bought Neverland for him. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Michael Jackson has said why he bought Neverland. And it's for the people. It was not for one little child, that he wants everyone to believe he was so enamored with him. And then this secret marriage ceremony, that's not proven. There's no proof of that. There's no validity to that. You know, secret ceremonies and all these things that they've come up with for a documentary, which Oprah was repeatedly trying to call a film. I don't think it will be a film because there will be a lot of pushback from this, so it won't be able to become a film. It will stay the little documentary that people wondered about, but I really doubt it will be a film in the theaters because there will be a lot of pushback, and the views that they got weren't very well or good. So, and a lot of, I want to say, a lot of these details, they admitted that even their parents and families didn't find out until this film had been made. So supposedly after all the abuse and them realize, or alleged abuse, and them realizing they need to come out and they need to say something, they still at that point didn't tell their parents or family or anyone anything. They, how do I say, partnered with Dan Reed, and their families had to come to know by watching a secret screening. He says on Oprah's After Neverland that he had a secret screening or separate screening for the family to watch the film before it was aired or before it was given to other celebrities and people. Because for a lot of you that may not know, the celebrities and a lot of high profile people get access to screenings sometimes months, at least a few months or more before most people can see it in the theater or even dream about seeing it. And they got a screening before it was released. I think he said in December or something like that. So, and some of these claims, they found out for the first time, which some of that wasn't really conveyed in the documentary. It was made as though, you know, they were made aware and they were going through this process with them. Some of them didn't even know about it. And Wade's mother went to turn it off. She didn't even want to see some of the claims because, first of all, she wasn't even told about it. And she was trying to battle with if she could believe it, it seems like. I also want to note that James admits that Wade and him met twice. He tries to say, oh, they met as kids. We were just both at Neverland Lounge, and that's when we met. So he admits to meeting Wade before coming out with this documentary and all of these things. But I, as well as a lot of people, believe that they did a lot of collaborating, a lot of talking, and that Wade was very persuasive in trying to get James Safechuck to be a part of this because he realized by himself that people knew he was a liar and that there would be no validity or credibility. And there still is not much, or not a little to no credibility, actually, or validity. I should say no credibility. And people say, well, oh, you have James Safechuck, you know, for the people that don't believe Wade, you have James Safechuck, and the stories are so similar. I think sometimes when I hear people say that, I think, how stupid. Their stories are similar because they've collaborated together to try to orchestrate something to have the story. If people want to partner together to make something look away, they'll say, oh, so-and-so, you know, say this, and make sure to say this when you're asked this, or to say that when you're asked that. It seems as though some people can't think. What else do I want to say? Oprah is very I want to say, one last thing about Oprah Winfrey, and then I'll wrap this topic up. Where she went wrong is she endorsed two proven liars, especially Wade, um, with no facts, no evidence to support their claims. And several people asked the question why she did this, maybe for relevance, to try to boost ratings. But it's a total betrayal and a total about-face turn from her past interactions and statements on Michael Jackson. But I think it supports some of what people said about maybe some of her opinions and Gayle King's opinions during the trial and what they thought. Some people thought that they're saying that Oprah thought that he should have been found guilty of this and that and the other, but that's not the perception she gave in the 1993 interview. That's not the perception she even gave after he died. I think it was only a couple years after he died that she spoke of Michael. She didn't really say much. When Whitney died, she didn't really say much. She distanced herself because people were saying, oh, you know, you and Whitney were friends, and there's a statement of her saying on the red carpet that, no, we weren't really that close, and she distanced herself from Whitney, but she went all of her way to do a separate special, which I may be able to possibly upload. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but definitely search YouTube and search the web. There's a special that where she sits down, and I think she may have even had one of her dogs with her, and speaks the world of Michael Jackson and his legacy and everything. And it's, I think, a 2 or 3 part special on all the great things that she thinks of Michael Jackson. So it's a surprise that she would, you know, be so quick to take the statements of two proven liars and then try to use them as a pedestal to talk about the issue of abuse, domestic and sexual abuse of children. And to me, that's horrible. It's horrific that she would try to use and endorse this documentary as a subject topic of abuse. Yes, we know that abuse exists, and yes, we know that these things exist, but for her to make the statement, oh, this topic transcends Michael Jackson, is bigger than any one person, yet they wouldn't have any bite or any bait or any interest if there wasn't some sort of big name, if there wasn't Michael Jackson as, you know, as the headline of this, and they know it, and that's why Wade has lied and SafeCheck has lied, because they know Michael Jackson, the name, just the name, will create a story. You know, he will live on forever, so it's I don't want to use the word funny because it's not funny at all, but it's interesting when Dan Reed keeps on trying to say the reason why I didn't interview Michael's family, the reason why I didn't interview people who could defend Michael and the children who can defend Michael and all these people, is because it was just about Wade Robson and James Safechuck, and it's their story, so it's not about Michael. Yet you title it Leaving Neverland, which you know has to do about Michael Jackson, and then you have two people in it that has allegations against Michael Jackson, and then you try to make it like this is not about Michael Jackson, this is about Wade and James Safechuck, and that's why you didn't create an objective two-sided documentary, as you should do, because documentaries are supposed to get to the bottom of something. When you create a one-sided documentary with only the stories of one side, that is not an objective. That's not a good documentary, because all you've done is include the statements of Wade and James Safechuck and his wives, or their wives and their family, and then all you've done is created a little snippet at the end of a couple of statements of angered fans. Okay. And then Oprah, she goes far to say, when you are 7 years old and someone is stroking your penis, it feels good. First, so she's going far to, because basically the 7 years old is relating to Wade, because why would it be at the particular age of 7 years old? So she's going far to say, you know, this feels good, and they thought nothing's wrong with it, so this is why they didn't say anything. And she's saying all this with there being no facts or no proof of any of these allegations they're making. And she says a statement, when you're 7 years old and someone's stroking your penis, it feels good. So this is all a photo op. This is all publicity. But they will see that they're only spreading negative karma, negative vibes, and it won't be successful. You know, people will find out the truth, and they'll anyway. I'll leave it there. But all they're spreading is negative energy, and there's negative auras over surrounding all of them, and sometimes when people talk about certain individuals, individuals, people kind of write them off and don't want to listen. And Monique, I haven't watched the full video that was uploaded, but she had some things to say about Oprah and this whole saga phenomenon that's going on now. And a lot of people wrote her off, but she was right about a lot of things, and a lot of people are right when it comes to Oprah and different, you know, people and their motives and intentions behind things. And Oprah, people had a certain respect for her because they held the belief that she was, you know, trying to get to the truth, that she, that it wasn't about the money for her, that, you know, that she had, you know, a level of integrity. And to me, this is destroying all of these, you know, all of that, you know, her credibility, her integrity, the fact that, you know, is she just trying to do this for money or for benefit, or what is her motives and what are her intentions for this? How does this benefit her? How does this benefit her? You know, because I don't know how long it was in the making, but, you know, it kind of seems like a last minute jump on the bandwagon thing for her to have this after Neverland's, you know, special. I don't know. So that's pretty much it. It's there's no facts, there's no proof, there's no validity. After watching parts 1, 2, and after Neverland, as I've told you, it just confirms Michael Jackson's innocence. It's something to bite. It's bait. You know, something to watch. Kind of like, you know, when you see YouTube videos and it may only be a minute or a couple of minutes, and they have some kind of topic and a great thumbnail to draw you in, but when you actually click into it, it's nothing. But they get millions of views, you know, with not much content, you know, contained within the video. So that's what this is. And people will come to know the truth, and us Michael Jackson fans and people will advocate. I encourage you, like I said, support the Jackson estate, support the upcoming shows. So, you know, let's buy his music. Let's support these causes and band together, and let's all work together. There should be a documentary. There should be things made to actually expose the truth of the matter. And I would admonish people not to support James and Safe Chuck and Wade Robson and enterprises they have, or anything that Dan Reed has. I should also put a hashtag, you know, boycott Dan Reed and mute Oprah. I just think it's sad. It's sad where parts of the society and people have come to, you know, as I will say, as I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, we have to be careful what precedent is being set, you know, and it's the same thing with the Supreme Court in the States when they make a decision, and the fact that they let Trump's travel ban, you know, take effect, and certain decisions they push through. You have to be careful because it sets a precedent for the next people come along to think that that's okay and that's all right. And as I've said with the Me Too era, there are victims coming out and there are people that are being helped by it. But it seems that there's also precedent being set that, as I've said, anyone can be accused of anything without there being any facts or any proof. And it's proven to ruin some of the careers of people. That this, as I've said, this won't get too far at all. Michael Jackson's legacy will continue on because people know this isn't true. There's been enough evidence of his innocence. He's been acquitted. There's enough to line up, and just the magnitude of who he is and the person he was, people know. But there have been other people that have been totally destroyed and lost roles on TV shows. That I won't name, all the shows and all the names, but there were shows that I like where people. Okay, I'll sign off now. Feel free to subscribe. Bye bye.